Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge podcast with your hosts, Liz and KT. And Merry Christmas! If you're listening on the day we uploaded this, we said even though it's Christmas, we're still uploading. You can watch before you've opened your presents, after you've your presents, or whenever. But we're here to give y'all some holiday cheer. As you can see, we're sitting in front of our Christmas trees. And we both have some Christmassy pajamas on. Super cute. This is a perfect episode to be watching instead of listening to the audio. But we see you, audio listeners. Y'all are some real ones.
Yes, like Kennedy said, it is Christmas time. We got all this set up, and even though when we're recording this, it's not actually Christmas Day, just know we are so ready for it. And the vibes, they're present, they're here.
What you said, I actually wrapped some presents today earlier before doing this podcast episode, and I'm doing more Christmas shopping tomorrow. So, we're fully getting into the Christmas spirit.
Exactly as you should.
Now we're going to get into what we've been up to since last week. So for me, we saw Bestie Jewel graduate. It was really cute, fun, and I will say, University of Kentucky, I hope you're listening. Y'all need to fix y'all's graduation process for getting into the graduation. Why did me and Ariana stand out in the rain? Just to get our bags checked. It was really wrapped around Rep Arena. I was like, oh, and then when we got inside the arena, it was just like no sort of direction. It was literally a mob trying to like get our bags and stuff checked. I was like, this is so stupid. I hope they fix this.
No, because me and my cousin, when we got there, it was like raining, it was cold, line, like Kennedy said, was wrapped around, and we finally got into Rep Arena, and it was just like a mob of people trying to get through the security. Luckily though, we saw that like the main entrance, the line, there was no line, so we went around and we were able to get in really quick. But still, like, the mob was crazy. There was it wasn't even like a line. It was just a mob of people.
Yeah, like me and Ariana, we got into the graduation when it was the national anthem, so still very early. But I was like, dang. And I was scared that I was gonna be sent back because of my bag. Luckily, me and Ari, kind of like skipped that. Like no one asked about our bags. I think at that point they were just like tired. But there was a lady behind us in line that was like, yeah, I just went back to my car to put my bag back. And I was like, this cannot be me. Like it just cannot.
Especially because have to be standing back in the cold. Absolutely not.
No, literally, and in that long line. And then also, I've been dealing with my consequences from last weekend. I don't know if you could tell by my voice. I feel like I've gotten better because your girl has been doing a lot of sleeping. Thank you, Zero Tech D. But last weekend, I think we talked about how we went out. I don't know if we necessarily mentioned that we didn't check the weather. It was raining, it was cold, and we wanted to be cute. So we had no top, or no tops on. What? We definitely had tops on. We didn't have no coats on, no jackets. I did have a long sleeve shirt on though. But we were also like locked out for a certain amount of time of Elizabeth Storm. So, a girl was cold and, that caught up to me for sure. And I just had really bad allergies, but I rallied to see Joe graduate, but I couldn't go out with my friends because I was like, I need to recover. We too close to Christmas and I don't want to be getting my nasty snot and stuff on everybody.
Exactly. It's no time to be playing about the illnesses with the Christmas coming up, all the gatherings and everything.
Exactly.
So what I've been up to, like Kennedy said, obviously going to Jill's graduation, that was so fun. Side note, Kennedy was recording and she was accidentally recording like the wrong girl at one point, but it's okay. I will say if you're listening to this, if she would have moved over one seat to the left, we would have been getting so many like candidates and everything, but there was this tall girl that was blocking her. And anyways, it was funny because Kennedy, she had like, when it was like time for her to walk across the stage, Kennedy had her camera and phone, like one in each hand. It was recording everything. I thought it was influencers caught out in the wild moment. But what else have I been up to? Oh, I had to like move all my things out of my dorm this past weekend. I had like my last duty day as an RA, and the day of Jill's graduation is when I like moved everything out. Luckily, the night before I was able to like load up the car and everything. Let's just say the morning of the graduation and the morning I was like checking out, I definitely, I was on the struggle bus. I got myself locked out. It was raining. And then not only did I get myself locked out, but I also left my phone in my room. So I couldn't even call anyone. So I was over here. I knew like the person who was on duty. So I was like knocking on their door. I even started banging on their window a little bit. But anyways, I was able to get back in my room. Was I a little bit behind schedule? Yes, I was, but I made it to the graduation. And today I've just been like unpacking everything, which I hate doing, but I've been unpacking and putting everything away. I'm still not done, but we've made progress.
See, one thing about Liz, She always gonna leave something. She always gonna get locked out. Something always happens. But I will say she was zooming on the day of Jill's graduation.
I got my priorities set. I will say I did leave my shoe rack in my room on campus. I was doing some unpacking and I was like, I'm definitely not seeing this. And then I went back to my Snapchat and I was looking at when I posted and I was like, yep, I see the shoe rack in the video. Luckily, my friend is on campus, so she was going to go grab it for me because I do need that.
And now we're gonna get into our favorites of the week. So mine is simply vlogmas. If you don't know what vlogmas is, it's when specifically like beauty and like lifestyle influencers on YouTube, they post a vlog every single day leading up to Christmas, which I have a hot take. Let's just stick to the regular format of vlogmas. These TikTok vlogs, vlogmas, get them out. If you're doing weekly vlogmas, don't even try. Like, just let's just stick to the formula, okay? If you can't do it, then just don't do it, and that's okay. That's okay, I promise. But I have specifically been loving this one girl. Her name is kind of long. It's like lavender cashew almond milk latte, something like that. I'm sure a lot of y'all, if you like our podcast, know her content on TikTok, but she also has a YouTube channel, and she's been doing vlogmas, and I have been eating them up. They're so good, so chill, and they're like the perfect length, not too long, not too short. And of course, you know, I also like Rumi's vlogs, Alicia's vlogs, and then I just kind of watch like other people's random days, but Vlogmas has been coming through with the content.
No, because I agree with your hot take, Kennedy. I feel like Vlogmas needs to be the you vlog that day, you edit that day, and you upload for the next day. You know, that is the traditional Vlogmas layout. I also do not like the little TikTok vlogs because I'm like, at that point, it's just a regular TikTok vlog. Like, what's the point of this? You're adding no effort. You know, something about Vlogmas just like it's long for, and it's like the editing, it's kind of sloppy at the same time. You know, it's not like the most perfect put together editing because obviously these people are editing all their footage that same night or whatever. But I love Vlogmas. If you're looking for any like cozy vibes, Vlogmas videos are always the way to go. And I feel like in recent years they've gotten longer because I feel like before it used to be like to those just like 10-minute vlogs, and now we're seeing like the 30-minute unedited like raw footage. Love that. And for my favorite of the week is just Netflix. I've been doing some, you know, just Netflix and chill and just watching and catching up on all my shows and everything. It's so nice to actually be able to like knock things off of my continue watching list because I feel like during school it just be piling up, and I swear there'd be like 10 different things on the continue watching where I started like one episode or like 10 minutes of a movie and never got through it. So just like sitting down and just like watching and like just the cozy vibes of it all, that's been my favorite of the week.
Yeah, nothing hits different than just being able to have the time to just sit and write during winter break.
And you know, just being able to rot be healing. The haters gonna hate, but like rot time is very much needed.
No, for real. And now we're gonna get into our pop culture and trendy topics. Like the girlies today, they decided to act a mess, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But first, there have been a lot of book adaptation cast updates. So for Verity, Dakota Johnson and Josh Hartnett have been added to the cast. So I assume Dakota Johnson is going to be Verity since what's her face? What's her name again?
Is it, oh my gosh, Euphoria Girl, right?
No, that's the other movie.
Oh, Anne Hathaway.
Yes, how could I forget? It was Anne Hathaway. Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm so sorry, Queen. But yeah, so Anne Hathaway is playing Verity, so I assume Dakota Johnson is playing. Wait, no. Yeah, wait, I think I might have mixed up names, but Anne Hathaway is playing Verity, which is, you know, the wife. And then Dakota Johnson is playing the author. I think I might have called her the wife earlier, but no, that was wrong. And then I have no idea who this Josh Hartnett guy is, but I assume he's playing the husband. And then for the housemaid, I remember we said that was the one that Sydney Sweeney got cast in, and she's playing the housemaid. And then Amanda Seyfried, which I totally missed her being added to the cast. She's playing, I assume, the wife. And then the actor who played Atlas in It Ends With Us is playing the husband. And then I don't know how to pronounce his name, but is it Michael Morone from that movie? Is that his name?
I have no idea how you say his name.
Yeah, him. No, literally, we need to phone a friend. But he's gonna be playing Enzo, which he was like the gardener or something like that. So this is gonna be a good cast. Both of these movies have really good cast. I know The Housemaid is coming out on Christmas 2025. Not sure about Verity, but I'm gonna be sad for both movies.
No, because not gonna lie, I think I've been confusing the casting of both of these movies. Like in my mind, I've just joined these two movies as one, but that's besides the point. I think that the casting is spot on. I will say like the like Verity, which is like a Colleen Hoover adaptation and everything, and as we're gonna get later on into this episode, there's a lot of like controversy regarding all of that and everything and all of her books. But I feel like the cast is like really on point for Verity, like comparing it to It Ends With Us cast. I feel like it Ends With Us cast, when it was announced, everybody was kind of like side eye, like I don't know about that. But I feel like with Verity, the cast is spot on. So I feel like we're on a better track, for the book to screen adaptation. But I am excited for both of these because these movies are like, at least the books, they're very like thriller-esque vibes. So I'm excited to see it like actually play out in a movie.
Same, and I feel like they got the casting on point this time. Like I don't know, I can't really remember how I imagine the people while reading, but I do think the actors chosen are really good. Like they're as close to what I imagined as possible.
Yeah, same. Like whenever I saw it, I was like in my mind immediately, yeah, that made sense.
And to keep on with the book adaptation news, we kind of have some drama. So if y'all remember the It Ends With Us movie, so I think me and Liz have talked about the Blake Lively drama, but today, hot off the press, woke up. Blake Lively is suing Justin Baldoni. Actually insane. I feel like I should hold back from saying my full thoughts. We'll see how it plays out legally, but all I have to say is side eye. I'm just gonna see how this plays out. Apparently, there's proof of him and like his crisis manager sending text messages of like okay, like this is like the plan to kind of ruin her reputation. But if I do say one thing, but if I do say one thing, I feel like that didn't even come from like outside sources. I feel like the main thing people hated was when that interview lady dropped something, but that was like totally separate. Unless there's some like inside tea and they're like, if you have anything bad, post it. But I don't know. I feel like her like bad reputation, like that was just off people pulling up old interviews and just like old interactions. So like, girl, you kind of did that to yourself. The other stuff about what happened on set and like a hostile work environment, that's I'm like, we'll see what plays out. We'll see what Justin says.
No, because I woke up this morning and because I went out with my friends last night because, Kenny wasn't there, unfortunately. But I woke up and then Ariana, I was like, she like said the news and I was like still kind of asleep, I felt like. And I was like, that immediately woke me up. And I feel like even within today, where like you said, hot off the press just happened, the plot has developed and thickened even within today, like the announcement of all the screenshots and the evidence, and then Justin got dropped from some stuff and things like that. Like, dang, we're moving quick with this. Definitely, I'm gonna need a full like rundown video from someone, because I just like, that's just shocking to me, especially because I feel like Justin's very like strong advocate against like harassment, like sexual assault and like all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, and even before we were recording, I saw that he was dropped from a talent agency. Him and Blake were at the same talent agency, and apparently they still represent her. And then also Colleen Hoover posted in support of Blake Lively. So I thought that was very interesting. And I have seen people point out that all of his past co-stars have said good things about him, while some of Blake Lively's co-stars have just kind of been like she wasn't the nicest. So it is very surprising what she says, but especially with the way the movie press was going, I feel like he just took those type of things so seriously. So I don't know, very interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be like a full 360. I think a lot of things will be revealed. So we'll see, like you said.
And then lastly, I think within the last day or two, they wrapped the final season of Stranger Things. I'm so sad but so excited. Like Stranger Things, I feel like that's just a show for like my generation. Like I remember being there watching season one, and it's crazy because we kind of like grew up with the show. Like we're like the same ages as the actors, so it's just so like wow. Like I remember I go back and watch season one, season two. I'm like wow, they were actual babies. But I was like I was an actual baby too watching that show, and just to see how far it's come. And I think we get the new season in 2025. I'm excited. I don't really have any theories though. To be honest, it's been so long. I need to like rewatch it from the beginning before it comes out next year. But I'm excited. All their posts. Honestly, I haven't looked that much into it because I'm like, this is sad. I don't want to see the sadness. But I'm gonna miss seeing like the core cast together, like the kids and like almost called him Justin. I don't know who Justin is, but the actor who played Steve and Nancy, yeah, I'm missing all them together.
Not gonna lie, I thought that they had been done filming the new season, but I guess not. All I'm saying is it better not get delayed. I better be seeing this in 2025. Feel like we've been delayed enough. I don't even remember, like, honestly, what happened in the last season. I remember being sad about some death or something. I am excited. Like Kennedy said, we have grown up with the cast and everything. I am super intrigued with like the whole time jump that's happening because I know they had to like elongate the time jump because they were like delayed or whatever with COVID and all that kind of stuff. But I'm very intrigued to see where it will go. I'm putting it out there. Nancy and Steve better happen. I am a Stancy stan. And if it doesn't happen, oh, I'm gonna be so mad.
I agree with Liz. We need to see Steve and Nancy together. And let's see, I know it ended kind of sad with Max, but I think we all know she's alive. Like, that girl is not dead. I did very much cry when I thought she was dead, though. I think Jonathan and Nancy, they're having problems, something about lying. I don't think that one kid's coming back with the long hair. Which I'm like, I feel like he had like kind of actually did he have a big part? I don't know. But I'm gonna be interested. I like I said, I can't even remember. I know something with the Russians and then Enzo.
Don't even know who Enzo is, but yeah,
Girl, remember he the Russian.
the one with like who's drinking the slushy for the first time.
No, that was someone else in season 3. The Russian, he like was mostly with Hopper and the other woman, like Will's mom.
I think it's
And he had
he was in the jail with Hopper.
yes,
Okay.
and he had blue eyes, and everyone thought he was cute.
I'm remembering him, but like I can't put a picture to it. So I will be adding Stranger Things to my list of shows to rewatch.
I feel like once you see a picture of him, you'll be like, "Oh, you're right, that's Enzo."
And that's a perfect segue into our next little section, our what we're watching. So for me, I've been watching, of course, a little bit of Gilmore Girls here and there. No new updates for me on that, but there's this show that came out last Christmas. It's like a Mexican like Spanish show. It's called The Manny, which is like the male nanny in this show. And season 2 dropped this past week, so I started it. I actually had to rewatch season 1 because I didn't remember a single thing that happened, but I started season 2, so we'll see how it goes.
Honestly, I've not been watching much. I feel like I've just been watching a lot of YouTube, but I did watch The Quarterback and Me, sue me. Okay, so I swear I like tried to start that movie 3 times. Well, I've started it 3 times, but I just finished it the last time. The first time I tried to watch it, I just got tired and I said I was gonna watch the other half later. But then I was seeing my friends that same weekend, and so I was like, I'll just watch it with them. Still fell asleep. So third time's a charm, and I finished it, and I hate to say it, but I liked it. It was on the same lines of like, the kissing booth with Jacob Elordi and Joey King. It's like cringy, obviously, but it's cute, fun. It's something for people like me.
Say less. I will be watching this movie. It's just I feel like it's the good like cringy but not like super cringy you can't watch it kind of vibe.
Exactly, and I know Noah Beck is in it. And listen, me and Elizabeth are not Noah Beck people. We don't know any of these TikTok boys. We're too old for that. But the movie was so good. Okay, like I feel like you disassociate at some points, and you're like, oh wait, like I'm realizing I'm watching a movie where Noah Beck is the lead. And yes, his acting is a little cringy, but it's a rom com, so of course it's gonna be cringy.
No, because like when I was watching like the clips, when they first started popping up on my like For You page and anything, I was like, I might just have to put away my like anti Noah Beck stuff and just go and watch this movie because the clips were looking too good.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's not that bad for real. I feel like out of all the Tubi movies, it's one of the better ones. Probably their best one in terms of like quality and script. And like Noah Beck is in it, and the girl, she was in Nikki, Ricky, and Dawn. If you know, you know. And like the guy from Riverdale. So they had, some people, some credible people.
Say less. I will be watching.
And now we're going to get into the song of the week. So, of course, it's Christmas. So today we are going to be having a Christmas song from moi. And mine is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by the Jackson 5. If you have not listened to the Jackson 5's Christmas album, I mean, by this time it's going to be too late because Christmas will already be over. But next Christmas, keep this in mind to listen to this album. Oh, and I'm going to play my favorite part for you guys. So as you can see, good Christmas vibes.
And my song of the week for this week, also continuing that Christmas spirit, is Let It Snow by Dean Martin. Hoping, manifesting right here for a white Christmas this year. And if it's not white, just not rainy. I do not want a rainy Christmas. But here's my favorite part of the song. Let it snow and snow. And that is my song of the week.
And you know, it was snowing just the other day, so it better be snowing on Christmas. And now we're gonna get into the topic of the episode. And you know, we're gonna be reflecting on the year of 2024 today. Like, this is the perfect end to the year, end of December. So we're gonna be doing 24 things we learned in 2024. So we have a couple categories. We have what we have learned, things we improved on, things we want to improve on, and then just reflecting on our vision boards slash resolutions from the beginning of the year. And we're gonna say like 3 things each. So between us, that is going to be 24 things. We love simple math.
Yeah, me and Kennedy can't do any complex math here.
Exactly. So I guess I'll get us started on the first segment of what we learned. So the first thing is I'm in control of my future, so I need to take small steps to achieve my dream life. Now this one, that was hard for me. I imagine I just start crying. It's like a therapy session. No, but I feel I apply this mostly when it because I'm in college, so you know, most people I feel like, at least that I know or I've heard, they plan on working, but I plan on going to grad school next and then hopefully getting a internship. But I realized like, oh, like I don't really have any connections, and so I started to make more efforts towards that and being more intentional with applying to things, just kind of creating a more clear path in my mind, because it's like if I sit around and do nothing, nothing's gonna happen. Like, what's that one quote? It's like nothing changes if nothing changes. Yep, that. Every student needs to have that in their mind. So I just learned that I need to do, like, it doesn't have to be something extraordinary. Like, I feel like especially in the business world, they tell me in my classes like network, this and this, and it's just like, no, sometimes you don't have the time or when to do that. So just do the small things. That can be connecting with someone on LinkedIn, talking to your professor about this and that, talking to someone new, just little things like that that can help you get you where you're at.
Yes, and I think that's so perfect, especially for like the point in our lives we're currently on and everything, where like everything's like changing, everybody's going different directions, but you really are in control of what you do. So my first lesson for me, I kind of joined my first and my second, but I do have three. So my first part one of my first lesson is everything happens for a reason, and then the second part is things don't always turn out the way we want. I feel like they're both similar but different in a way. I feel like the first one is just like in general, everything's gonna happen for some reason, and then the outcome of that, it's not always going to be the way you want it to. And I feel like just coming to terms with accepting that it's not going to be the way you want it to really just helps you like overcome whatever it is that happened and everything. I feel like this past year I had a lot of things where I was like, stuff was just happening and I was like, I felt like I wasn't in control of it, you know? And it's sometimes you gotta like take a step back and be like, okay, like everything is happening for a reason. Like there's some you know, understanding, like some logic to whatever it is that's happening. And then just like knowing that things aren't going to turn out the way you want them to turn out, and it's okay. Like you're going to be okay. And with that, it happened for a reason. Like the things that you didn't want to turn out happened for something else to happen, you know? I feel like it's all very like domino effect kind of is how I look at it. So just like being able to accept those two things and approach different situations with those things in mind really helps you just like be able to, I feel like, not hit an obstacle and like stop, but be able to like overcome those obstacles and everything. So that's something that I really like feel like I really had that happen, or like things that I saw throughout the year, different situations that like made me really think of that.
Yes, I liked how you said the thing about the domino effect, because I feel like that's so true, especially because I feel like you could kind of tie that into like not having any regrets, because once you just get into that mindset of everything happens for a reason, it's like you wouldn't be where you are at now if that thing in the past didn't happen. Like you had to go through that, and then if like you're religious like me and Liz is Catholic, I'm Christian, and just knowing like, you know, God has this all in control. he knows the plan. We just kind of have to put trust into it and do what we can in like the physical world to, continue going down the path we choose.
Yes, and especially like when you get in those like points where it feels like everything's going downhill, in your mind it's like in the moment, because it is going to feel that way. In the moment, it's like it's not happening the way I wanted to. Everything's out of control. I don't know what to do. Just being able to be like, it's happening for a reason. Like there's something that good is going to come out of this. Just really helps like overcoming it and not being stuck in like a hole where just you're just like you can't get out of it.
Exactly. And just like think about all those other times in the past you've been stressed about so many things, like it overtook your life at the moment. And look where you're at now. When's the last time you thought about that? And I bet you haven't. So that's my last 2 cents on that.
Yep.
Okay, so my next one is I do actually like talking to people and going out. Shocker! If you know me, I'm a very shy, yeah, shy person, reserved. I just like to keep to myself, and I'm really just outgoing with like my close friends, family. But I feel like this semester I was a lot more like social in my classes and like talking in class and just not being afraid to like speak up. I was like, wait, this actually makes me feel good. And then I remember the first time I went out with my friends, I was a little nervous just because, freshly 21, didn't know what going out was like. And I was like, wait, this is so fun. Like, because I feel like you see a lot of things on social media where it's like, when people are out in bars and stuff, like everyone's just on their phones. But at least where we be at, I don't know if it's just because we live in Kentucky and not like, we're not going out like New York City or something, and we're not going to like super flashy places. But like everyone's just dancing and having a good time, minding their own business. No one's like recording. So you just kind of like let loose.
Yes, love that for you, Kennedy. And I feel like that goes so good with your first one of just being in control, not just of your future, but you're in control of like what you do and everything. So putting in like that kind of energy forward and everything. So for me, my second lesson is it's okay to feel what I'm feeling. I feel like I'm the kind of person who just kind of like bottles up my emotions until I can't anymore, And then that's like when I get my little tipping point or whatever. But just like being able to like, if I'm feeling something, just letting myself feel it. Like if it's going to be like, I need to cry, and that's okay. And it's okay to feel those emotions. Like if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling down, feeling it, like actually like letting yourself feel it. And the same thing like when you're having moments where like you're super excited, everything's going well, just living in that moment and just feeling those emotions. I think just we are human, so like emotions are part of it, and that's what makes us unique and everything. So just being able to really like come to terms with that and feel those emotions really helps you just like move on and also just kind of live more in the moment. So that's my little lesson.
Yes, emotions are what makes us human.
Yep.
Okay, my last one is I learned to really lean into my interests and hobbies. And it's what makes me me. I feel like in the past, I'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm interested in this, or wouldn't tell people what I'm interested in, even though it's like so stupid because I don't have any crazy like interest or hobbies. Like, for example, like even something as simple as reading, people be like, what do you read? I'm just like, oh yeah, fiction books or whatever. But it's like, it truly is not that serious. Like, you read what you read, and like even with like F1, I feel like that's, if you know me, I don't do sports. Like, so me getting to F1 is very random, but it's like that's what I like at the moment, and it's what I enjoy, and I can see myself being a longtime fan, and just even like the type of music I like. I'm allowed to be interested in multiple things, no matter if someone else thinks it's weird, different, not what they expect out of me. Like, it just makes me me. It's part of being a human. It's part of living. I'm just living life.
That like is a good segue into my next lesson, which is just like it's okay to be quirky, like embracing those things that you like, all those like little things, the little quirks and everything that are weird to everyone else. I feel like this year I really just let myself like enjoy what it is that I like to enjoy. I remember like I feel like before whenever someone asks me, "Oh, like what do you like to do?" I would be like I wouldn't know what to say, or I'd give like a basic answer like, "Oh, I like to read. What do you like to read?" "Oh, just like I don't know, fantasy books," like something just very general. But now I'll tell you what I like to read. I like reading my little romance books, like things like that. Embracing those little quirks that to other people are just like weird or like different and everything, because then I feel like when you're able to embrace it, you're able to just like enjoy doing it more. And that's when you feel like that fulfillment that you feel or like that joy that you feel while you do those things. So like for me, it'd be like, I don't know, like reading, watching my TV shows, even my little edits and everything, just like those little things and those little quirks that everyone has, because everybody has quirks. And I felt like throughout this year, whenever I would meet someone, I would be like more open about talking about those things compared to like giving those basic answers.
Heavy on the edits, and I realized like the more you talk about that openly, like you realize a lot of people like those same things too. Like my most recent roommate I had, like we were on the same wavelength with all that type of stuff. So it's like, wow, when you actually talk to people, you actually have a lot in common. Who would have thought? And I feel like with a lot of people, you could find common ground. Even with like freaking crumble cooking, all my friends hate it, but I would talk to people in my college classes about it, and they love crumble just as much as me. And so it's like I could easily be like, I'm not gonna talk about crumble. My friends hate it. That's such a stupid answer, but it's true. I love me some crumble cooking, and yes, I'm gonna be tuned in every week. But I feel like I can also see that with people embracing what they like in like fashion trends, like all the girlhood trends and stuff. With like the jelly cats, the sunny angels, like those things may be more like childish, but like it's girlhood. It's just us reconnecting with our inner child and just loving the cute little trinkets.
Yes, I love how like this year as a whole, I feel like everybody was just like really embracing those things. When you said like the Sunny Angels, I feel like a couple years ago, people would be looking at you so weird for collecting little Sunny Angels, adding them to like your phone cases, your steering wheel, whatever it is, you know? But now it's just like, oh, like it's okay to have those interests. So just like embracing everything.
Exactly. And now we're going to get into things we have improved on. So, first, I would say for me is talking to family more, specifically like my grandparents and my aunt. You guys, I'm low key like one of the worst family members you can have because I ignore phone calls, even though I be on my phone all the time. But it's just like, it's nothing personal. I just sometimes after a long day, the last thing I want to do is hear someone talk because I've been around people all day and I just want silence. But I'm just like, family is family. At the end of the day, that's who you have. So it's really important to, build those relationships. So, I used to be really bad at calling my grandparents. And, just as I've gotten older and also just stopped becoming more selfish, I was like, okay, I need to call my grandparents every week. And so they have a schedule. So I try to call them on Tuesdays and Thursdays mostly. And then my aunt calls me on Sundays. And I try to answer every call, you guys. I try to, but sometimes I still don't like to talk to people. And school helps when you have the excuse of not, you use the excuse of I'm studying, and then they're just like, okay. And then my granny, I just like to text her because me and her have a lot in common. Like she'll text me articles to read, and like we're both readers, so we'll talk about that and like maybe like some political stuff, just those type of talks. But I try to be better and mean. I mean, I talk to my parents every day, which a lot. Some people might say that's bad, but I don't think so.
Yes, and I feel like with your family, you often like take them for granted and like you don't put in that effort. Like you'll put in effort with like your friends and everything because it's like you don't want to lose those kind of relationships, but it's like your family, like you're not going to lose your family, you know? But it's like it's the same thing. You still got to put in that effort and everything because you might not like lose them, but it's going to be like a distant relationship. So you got to put in that effort towards it.
Exactly, especially like now that we're getting older, I feel like we're at the age, we can see our parents starting to age, which let's not talk about that. That'll make me cry. And just seeing like your grandparents getting older. And so it's like, you only have a couple more years left. You don't know when things can happen. So like people always make the excuse of like, oh, I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. But it's like you will make time if you really want to make time for something.
That part. And I think we've mentioned that in different fonts on this podcast. But my next thing I've improved on, I was looking ahead, I was like, we're not there yet. But my first one is just being more open about what I'm feeling, which goes into just like one of my lessons that I had this year. So I think I've really improved on just like being open about those emotions that I'm feeling and not just like I feel like in two ways I've been open about it. Like to myself first by just like letting myself feel what I'm feeling. And then also just to other people, like talking about what I'm feeling. I feel like there was a couple points throughout this year when like I talked to like my mom or like my friends and everything about like some things I was going on with myself or whatever, or like emotions I was feeling and everything. And just like having those conversations. And I found out like throughout those conversations, just like with everything, I'm not alone and like everybody's going through similar things in different situations. And if they aren't going through the same thing, because most of the time no one is going to go through the same thing, but they've been through something similar. So there, it's just offers insights on like how to get through things, or like how to overcome different things that you're going through. So I really have improved, I feel like, this year on just like being open, like I said, to myself and to others about what I'm feeling.
Yes, heavy on the everyone's going through the same thing. I think back to when we have like our girl trips or like sleepovers and we play We're Not Really Strangers and we all open up and like we're all going through very similar things, yet we don't talk to each other about it. And I think we've learned that we can be more open to each other about that.
Yes, and I feel like every time I've had those conversations, which is I feel like what really helped me improve on this, every time I've had those conversations, I go into it like very like hesitant, I feel like, or like standoffish kind of a little bit, or at the tipping point. But I always come out of that conversation like feeling like a breath of fresh air, or like I can breathe, or like, oh, I feel like I literally feel like the weight being lifted from your shoulders. So it's always like a really good feeling after you have those conversations with other people.
I agree. So my next one is being okay with holding space. So I feel like that kind of ties a little bit back to what I was talking about earlier about like, speaking up more, talking with people. I just used to be like, my own mind my own business. I don't want anyone to know I exist. I just want to be peaceful, whatever. But then I kind of had to switch that was just like, no, I'm here. Everyone has to do with it. And yeah, that it's like I'm human, just like everyone else. I have a right to be in places just as much as other people. I shouldn't be nervous to speak up, things like that.
No, because I feel like that one, you often like in spaces, you feel like so small and everything, or like swallowed by this space, but just being able to like stand your ground and everything is so true in every situation.
No, exactly. Like even as simple as like asking for help in like a grocery store or something. Like I used to be so scared to do that. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, I still get really nervous to do things like that. But now I'm just like, I'm gonna ask for help if I need it.
My next thing I've improved on is putting effort into myself. I feel like I did this in different ways. So like what I mean by that is just like putting in time for yourself, like you're not going to see improvements in yourself, and not just like physical improvements, but like emotional, like social, like every type of improvement. You're not going to see it if you're not taking time and putting it into yourself. So like I feel like different things I would do throughout the year that helped me do this and that I improved on is like a hobby that I picked up is like doing my nails for fun and everything. It's just so relaxing, putting on a TV show, and just like sitting down and doing that. I would try to do workouts. I did at one point in the year. I talked about it on the podcast a little bit too. I was doing Pilates. I felt so rewarded from doing that and everything. So just doing like those different things that I enjoyed and picked up hobbies on, and just taking time and putting it into yourself, it just feels so much better. And I feel like you see improvements in different types of ways by doing that and putting in time to yourself.
I feel like my next thing I improved on kind of like ties into what Elizabeth was talking about, putting effort into yourself. And that was being consistent with healthier habits. So, I was doing good. I kind of have fell off, but hopefully in the new year I get better. But just I think about just having more consistent, healthier routines. So specifically like my night routine, like that's my baby. Like especially when I'm at school, like I really tried hard to like get into bed at a good time and not be on my phone and read. What I would do is if I was really on my stuff, I would like, do a cute little at home workout, shower, listen to either podcast or music, and I would have my phone on like the red light. I remember I showed that in a couple episodes ago. It's way better for your eyes than the yellow light, and it just doesn't even make you want to be on your phone because it's just all red. And then I would read a couple chapters on my Kindle, and that would knock me out, and I would go to bed so early. So I just did way better on that. Like I had a really good routine, and then I just kind of naturally fell out of it. But I really improved on that because I used to just like not be good at that type of stuff.
Yes, Kennedy. What stood out to me, like going to like bed earlier or like trying to and everything, I became this like person who I be going to, I can't, I don't, midnight don't be seeing me. It rarely sees me, you guys. But I feel so nice when I wake up and I get my well rested sleep and everything. But anyways, my next thing that I improved on, and my last one, is just like putting in not just effort into myself, like I said earlier, but effort into my relationships and everything that I have in my life. So I feel like with my friends and everything, I was really good about like reaching out, talking to everyone, planning hangouts and things like that, instead of just like, oh, it didn't work out, like sitting back and doing things by myself, but just like putting in that effort into those relationships and everything. And then with my family too, taking time to like visit them when I could, or like talking to them. I feel like I did a lot of like just calling my parents, honestly. I think I was calling them whenever, because I had a lot of like free time this past semester and everything, and like just throughout the year and everything. And I would call them and just like see what they're doing, what was new, that kind of thing. So just putting an effort into those relationships. And I feel like that really, at this point where I'm looking back at my relationships that I have in my life and everything, I feel like they're stronger than ever before and everything, because of that time that I put into them and to like strengthen the relationships that I had.
Yes, I agree. I think that's a very good thing everyone should work to improve on. I That's definitely something I had on like my resolutions like 2 years ago. I remember I said, "Okay, this is the summer that I really try to make an effort specifically into like my friendships because I feel like I was just kind of like, that go with the flow friend. And I feel like that was like one of the best summers that I've ever had, just with like, friend hangouts and then things like that. And I feel like it's over the years, all of our friendships have just gotten stronger. So I'm backing you up on that one.
And like it just makes it so much easier because when you're putting in the effort, that friendship or that relationship or like family familial thing that you got going on, whatever it is, it's gonna be stronger. So then you don't gotta like start over and do it all over from ground zero with new people.
Exactly. And now we're going to move into things we want to improve on because there's always room for improvement. So, my first one is I'm going to try to not place expectations on people based on how I would do things. This is something I so struggle with, and then I just let it kind of stress me out and it just overwhelms me very easily. And it's just such like a conscious thing I do. Like I don't do it like I don't know, it's just so part of me that I just really need to fix it because you like everyone's their own person. You just can't expect them to do things that you want them to do. Like I just think, for example, like group projects, for example, that's like so stupid. But like, I would personally do my part, good quality, in a timely manner. But other people have other things going on, you know what I mean? And then I even think about like even just me compared to my parents, like let's say there's like a project in the house that needs to be done. I'm gonna say like closets, for example, because I just redid my closet. I had a mission, I had a goal. I said, we're ordering my closet. As soon as it comes, I'm cleaning it out. Da 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 da. Got it done. Fast, easy. But people like my parents, they're gonna have the idea of doing their closet for a couple of months. Then a couple months gonna pass, they order the closet. Then a couple weeks gonna pass. And then they're gonna build the closet and do it. But then when they finally do it, it's gonna take a couple more weeks. And so things like that I try not to let bother me. But it really irks me so bad. Like it really does. And it's like, Kennedy, it does not affect you. It does not need to be on your mental like that. Like again, people are their own people. You can't expect them to act how you want them to. Like that's just not life and it'll be better not to do that.
No, because the closet scenario, that sounded a little too familiar in my household too, Kennedy. I have to be reminding myself, everybody, they doing their own thing. But one of the things that I want to improve on this year is just routine. I somewhat succeeded at this past year, but not truly. But just like building a routine, having a routine through like everything I do, whether that be like adding more workouts to my day. I feel like I don't be working out. I did enjoy doing Pilates. So I think I want to do things like that, just like finding a routine with that and like sticking to it. That's what I need to do is be consistent and stick to the routine that I make, because I be struggling so much with actually sticking through something. Or like I'll do something for like a couple weeks. It's good, it's going well, but then I fall out and then the routine is gone. But I think just building a solid routine that has like a balance of whether that be working out, like eating balanced meals, or like hanging out with people and just taking time to myself, just like a routine that embodies everything that I need and that works for me, because everybody's routines are going to look different. So just really finding that and improving on that is one thing that I want to do in this upcoming year.
I'm going to be on track with the routine theme because my next one is I want to build a more consistent workout routine. I feel like I'm good for a couple weeks or two and then I fall out for a couple more weeks. And I hate that because I genuinely feel like the best, like eternally, when I have a good workout routine. And I don't do nothing crazy. Like I just do simple home workouts from YouTube that don't require equipment. All I just have is my headphones and a YouTube video and my mat. I just do like simple cardio, Pilates, things like that. And, they do what they do. But I just need to build a more workout routine. And I would love to do stuff like, outside of, my house or my apartment, like going on morning walks, I would love to do. But I'm just like, ugh. I know there's this saying that's like you need to have more discipline over motivation. Like motivation is like I forgot the exact thing, but basically you just need more discipline than motivation because motivation's not gonna last. Like think of it like going to class. Like I don't have the motivation every day to go to class, but I have the discipline in me to get up, get ready, and go to class.
Yeah, that stuck out to me because I feel like especially when it comes to working out, I do not have the discipline. And when the motivation, it's like, oh, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. And then it never happens. The motivation is not strong enough when it comes to me and working out. My next thing I want to improve on is just challenging myself. I feel like I tend to like stick to what I know and stick to my little comfort, comfort circle, comfort zone. But I really want to do things that just challenge me and various different ways, but just like challenging myself and trying things. And it's okay to like to fail in whatever it is that I'm challenging myself with, but just being able to like say I did it, I tried, I did something that I am not comfortable doing and everything. But I really want to do that this next year, just doing different things, whether it could be the smallest thing as like I want to start scrapbooking, something like that is challenging myself and doing something that I typically wouldn't ever do to like I don't know, joining something or like doing something crazy, things like that. But just really challenging myself and being more intentional with what I'm challenging myself with.
Yes, and I feel like with challenging yourself, like it sometimes can seem scary depending on what you're doing. But then after you do it, you're like, oh wait, that actually wasn't that bad at all. Or on the flip side, it's like, oh, I didn't like it, but now you know that you don't like it instead of always wondering, like, oh, like would I have liked this? What would have happened if I had done it? But you already did it.
Yes, and I feel like most of the time it be leading to like something better for yourself and everything. Whether it be you didn't like it, you do something else, or like you did like it and now you got a new little hobby or something to do.
Exactly. And my last thing is I want to journal and manifest more. Again, I feel like I was doing all that when I was like in my prime with going to bed early, working out, all that type of stuff. And when I do all those things, I just feel the best. And I feel like journaling is just good. Even if you don't have anything monumental to say, I feel like it's always good to just document what you're doing, what you're feeling on that day. And I feel like a lot of people when they hear journaling, they automatically think of like diary and like writing bad emotions. And like yes, you can do that, but like you can also like talk about positive things or just like random things on your mind or just do a little scribble, whatever you feel like it. Like journaling does not have to be that intense. And I feel like manifesting is always good because you're putting your what do you call like your beliefs out into the world. I watched this video where this girl was like, it's kind of like your manifestations is like growing a plant. Like you plant the seeds and then your like physical actions is like the water and you grow the plant. So I feel like I definitely want to get into that more combined with God and all that.
I like that little plant analogy. My last thing that I want to improve on, I was like stuck between two things, but I'm going to go with this one. It kind of goes with the challenging, but a little different, I would say. But just putting myself out there, which is like a challenge, but I'm taking it a different avenue here. I mean, putting myself out there and just, I guess I'm going to say it, but I feel like I want to put myself out there more in the like dating realm of things, I don't know, just I don't know how. I don't know. Don't ask me for details, but I feel like putting myself out there is a good start.
Liz, this is why we're podcast hosts together. Because earlier today, I was just thinking I need to start putting myself out more in that type of way. Like, I don't know if that means getting on an app. Like, I don't know, but we're going to do it. And it's going to be next year, maybe, or the year before. I might have to eat some grapes under a table. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do it.
We got to get some green grapes. I've seen green grapes are better than the purple red grapes or whatever. Those are the ones that actually be seeing some results. But yes, literally just like I said, I don't know how, but I feel like in everything prior to now, I've never really put myself in those situations. To be honest, I avoid those situations. Um I, I see it coming, I turn the other way. I be avoiding those situations. But I feel like just putting myself in situations or putting myself out there to where like I don't know, you know? Don't ask for details like I said. I just put it out into words just now.
I feel like Spain will help you out a lot with that. But also, I feel like I'm gonna assume for you too. Me just speaking for Liz, I'm like, yeah, we both feel this way. But I feel like at times they can be just very uncomfortable because it's all very new. But I think we both tired. We just like I think both of us feel at this point, we need to start, making moves to be out there.
Like Kennedy said earlier, we are in control.
Exactly. And don't let Liz get herself a little Spanish boyfriend. And now for the last little bit of this episode, we're going to be reflecting on some of our like vision board or like resolutions, any of that type of stuff from the beginning of the year, or even just what we thought our year would look like, and kind of reflecting on that now since we are towards the end of this year. I personally, I didn't really make a vision board or have resolutions, but I made this thing called like a life binder digitally. A girl named Fernanda Ramirez, yeah, I think that's her name. She made a whole life binder video. You should watch that. Basically, it's like a vision board, but like split up. So I made mine like it's like a lifestyle page, a mentality page, a physical health, career and school, leisure, spirituality and religion, and then the last page of it was like affirmations. I would say the overall message for me is that things like did, I guess you could say, come true, but in a different way than I thought. So I feel like this kind of plays kind of into what Liz was talking about, how like everything happens for a reason. Like things play out different than what you thought they would be. Like for example, I have an internship picture on my board, but what I had in mind when I put that was having an internship for the summer because I made this in February, but that didn't happen. But I do have an internship now. It just played out differently than what I thought. So, you just kind of have to, like, I guess that shows you to just really roll with the flow. And as long as you have those intentions in your mind and just like trust the process, trust whoever you believe in, it's all gonna work out.
For me, I didn't really like do a vision board this year, and if I did any resolutions, I honestly they didn't stick with me, I feel like. But similar to Kennedy, I think just like everything happened in some way, shape or form, you know? Kind of like I said earlier, like everything happens for a reason vibe, you know? I really felt like this year I really saw that in my life and like all the different honestly, if I look back, all the different like situations, like everything that I experienced, I feel like was a everything happens for a reason type thing. And in the moment, I may have not been enjoying it, but it happened for a reason and something came out of it and everything. But honestly, that's something that I kind of want to do more this upcoming year, like starting off the year strong and just like putting out those things. Cause I really do believe that, like, when you put it out there, you are claiming that like energy, or like, even if you don't believe in like energy or like spiritual stuff and all that kind of thing, by putting it out there, I think you really like you envision it and you're gonna work towards it, you know? Maybe it's not like the energy or it's not like God or like whatever it is out there doing its thing, but like you're working for it. Just putting those things out there is something that I want to do a little bit more this year. Like really like make some type of vision board, or definitely going to be checking out that video that Kennedy talked about, but just doing those little things to just like put out those things and then just like later on see how it turns out and everything. Definitely will be doing that.
Oh, and by the way, my example, for if anyone was counting while listening along, that counted as my second thing for this section because I was struggling to like think of things I could say. But the last thing I wanted to say was like, for the most part, after looking through my pictures, I feel like I did do some of the things I put on or like got into the mindset. Like, for example, like my lifestyle page, it has like some jewelry, some good food. Oh, one thing that I found that was cool is I just put a disco ball for the vibes, but then I was like, wait, I've seen a lot of disco balls in the bars that I've been to. So I feel like that was a good sign, and just like the mentality, like emotions make us human. I feel like that's been a big thing in my mind. Oh, and then literally the quote that I said earlier today, nothing changes if nothing changes. So it's like when you make this, like the stuff is so like consciously, is that the word? Consciously, unconsciously, in the back of your mind when you don't even realize that you're acting like onto it. And then like physical health, we were struggling with that one a little bit. But I did have a picture of these girls playing tennis, and I did play tennis once this summer, so a win is a win. And then like career in school, like I just had, the internship picture like I talked about. And then just like the whole idea of like I am qualified for the career I want. I feel like I really took on that mentality. Same thing with leisure. Oh, I thought this was cool. I've told Liz this story before, but I put a picture of like a podcast and it had two mics. But at the time, I was just like, I just like this picture. Like I wasn't imagining like, oh, I'm gonna have a podcast. It's gonna be two people. And look what happened. Me and Liz have a podcast, two people. That's crazy. And like a lot of things within my spiritual and religion one, like my future is in God's hands. That's a big thing I've been kept in mind, and that your existence is a miracle. Knowing this, please remember to take care of yourself and show yourself all the love you can. And then just a whole bunch of affirmations I feel like I really have like felt consciously, such as like I speak kindly to myself, I will achieve my goals and dreams, I am falling in love with my own energy, I have a beautiful life, I am loved and strong, I'm healthy, everything comes to me in the perfect time, just things like that. So I hope that helps somebody listening.
Honestly, that just reminded me, I have like on my laptop, I made this like last year, I think. It wasn't really like a vision board, but I have this my lock screensaver is like different images, like I made a little collage that I liked. And when I'm looking at it, a lot of those things like that Kenny was talking about, I feel like I've somehow done with, like I have like a little like Bible verse or something, and I feel like I've gotten really like stronger in like my faith and everything. I have like a picture of just like us, like our friend group and everything. And I will say, I feel like this year we had a lot of hangouts. I feel like we broke a record, not gonna lie. But we did like a lot of like mini trips and like just weekend things that we did a lot of. So I feel like that was something that we did. Then I also have on here like just this like glowy like skin. And if you know anything about me, I had some rough skin this year, but we're like now it's like all better and everything. Like, I don't know. I feel like those just putting, like I said, just putting images to things, it just like seeing it every single day. I feel like they just ingrain something in your head to where like you're trying to achieve that or you're like working towards those things without even doing it. Like Kennedy said, it just subconsciously happens.
Our friend group, I don't know what happened. I think we really just like, I don't know, like we really just started seeing each other more recently.
We really got appreciative of what the hangouts were.
I think college might have scarred some of us, specifically me.
And with that, that is the end of our little Girls Lounge podcast episode today. A little Christmas special, dare I say, Christmas Day. If you're watching on Christmas Day, we appreciate you guys, watching us on the day, adding to your cozy vibes. And we hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas, or if you don't celebrate, had a happy holidays, whatever it is you're doing. And we'll see you guys next week, which, oh my gosh, it'll be next year. That's crazy. See you guys in 2025 on the Girls Lounge with your hosts, Liz and KT. Bye.
Bye, and cheers to all the rich people Christmas hauls.